Please remain standing for the singing of our national anthem.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave?
Everyone, please be seated. Join me in another round of applause for the students singing the national anthem live for the first time all year. I want to thank them all by name. Please join me in thanking Madeline Serker, Lily Dell, Emery, here we are, we're back. Emery Franco, Jonathan Goldberg, Kate Magacy, Olivia Massa, Ian Miller, Aiden Newworth. I love it, it works. Rebecca Packer, Colin Reardon, Eliana Rivera, Gavin Schaub, Amina Sawanatat, Aiden Tiger, and Mirianthi Sismanikis. For their amazing rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner conducted by Mr. John Spezio. I also want to thank Mr. Tony Pinelli, Mr. Shane Helfner, and Mr. Aaron Prindle, and the members of the Schreiber High School music program for their lovely music this evening. While it was recorded, it was all played by Schreiber High School students. I have to say, you are all a sight for sore eyes. I am so happy to see you here today to celebrate this remarkable class, the class of 2021. Dr. Hines, members of the Board of Education, faculty and staff from around the district, parents, family, friends, and of course, the class of 2021. We have all collectively endured a lot these last 15 months. And while it's too often been easy to focus on the negatives, there have been some positives that I think are worthy of discussion. We've expanded our skills and grown comfortable with new technology like Zoom, and that has allowed us to stay connected or reconnected with friends and family. We've grown more appreciative of the little things in life that bring us joy: a sunset, going out for dinner, a comfortable pair of sweatpants, or our pets. And some, like my family, made a pandemic purchase, something to explore that might not have happened if we weren't home for so long together. Our pandemic purchase was a record player. Well, I suppose it's possible some of you from the class of 2021 aren't familiar with record players. It is how people my age played music on discs made of vinyl called albums. Your parents and your grandparents, they can fill you in later. Over the past few months, I've had a chance to revisit just how different listening to music, listening to an album is to my more common mode of listening to music, a playlist on Spotify. Give it up for Spotify. Everything gets an applause today. That's my favorite part. An album tells a story, is crafted by an artist with a sense of purpose. A playlist is a series of songs that we already know, that we like and often played by multiple artists. To listen to your favorite playlist, all you do is hit shuffle and enjoy the music. To listen to an album, you have to drop the needle, yes, the needle, on the record and listen to the songs in the order that the artist placed them. They are vastly different experiences. Albums always contain songs one wouldn't include on a playlist. Everyone's favorite album has songs on it that need to be endured or just tolerated. On an album, there is no button to press to get to the next song. You just have to listen. Playlists, and I love my playlists, remind me in some ways of Instagram. Our Instagram feeds are the greatest hits of our lives, the moments we would listen to over and over again, while albums contain moments we would rather no one ever see. I posit for all of you that our lives are much more like an album than they are like a playlist. The best song on an album sounds so much sweeter when it follows a song you loathe. If we only ever played our favorite moments from life over and over again, we would miss all the learning that comes from the rest of our lives. No one's life looks exactly like their Instagram feed. None of us post the moments we have to tolerate, to endure. The next time you're scrolling Instagram, experiencing the FOMO that is so common, try and imagine the moments that took place right before that post. While it might seem that we should all permanently migrate to the playlist and the joy they bring, I remind you, the class of 2021, that all the people around you, your parents, your family, your teachers, administrators, we all have favorite albums, and none of us have favorite playlists. I extend to you my warmest congratulations, class of 2021. Now it is with great pleasure that I introduce the President of the Board of Education, Mrs. Nora Johnson.
Thank you, Dr. Pernick. Congratulations to the class of 2021. Each of you is a superhero. You have risen to the unprecedented challenges of this year, and you have excelled. On behalf of the board, we are thrilled to be here celebrating you with your families and our administrators, faculty, and staff in person as one community. Community, that's what I want to talk about today. There are many descriptions of community, but one thread that runs through all is that people who live or work in a particular locality develop a sense of belonging together or a sense of we-ness, and the recognition that when a community member has a need, other members step in to help. One of the qualities that makes Port a special place is the power of our community. You may leave Port and come back to raise a family, as so many do, or you may settle in another place and find community there. The important thing is that you find that we-ness, it's a little windy, and embrace it. I'm not a Port native, as I'm reminded by my friends whose families go back multiple generations, but I'm a relatively quick study and started volunteering in the community soon after we moved in. As someone who has had several careers, I want to share that my most meaningful work to date has been volunteering in this community. Many of you have already experienced the rewards of stepping up to help others. Keep it up. In the words of Allison Thompson, a great humanitarian who has spent her adult life racing to help people at sites of both natural and man-made disasters around the globe, quote, "I don't have a lot of big skills, but learn to use the small ones to fill in the gaps where there is a need. Use the small ones. They add up to make change. You don't have to shave your head and become a monk, but imagine a world where everyone does their part. If this is like previous graduations, about 25 of your classmates and their families aren't celebrating graduation with us today because they haven't yet reached this important milestone. While the reasons vary, moving forward, we have a lot more to do to fill in those gaps. My hope is that wherever your life's journey takes you, be it in port or elsewhere, you embrace the needs for opportunity and equity for every community member and find ways to fill in those gaps. This is your day. You are 392 amazing, beautiful graduates who have successfully navigated the last 13 years, including the roller coaster of the last 16 months. You have worked so hard to get to this day. You are amazingly resilient, and you have accomplished so much. We couldn't be more proud of the Schreiber class of 2021 and look forward to the wonderful successes each of you will have in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, President Johnson. It's now my pleasure to introduce the Assistant Principal for the class of 2021. Please welcome Mr. Craig Weiss.
Thank you, Dr. Pernick. Greetings, Dr. Hines, members of the Board of Education, Dr. Pernick, families, friends, and of course, the graduating class of 2021. Here we are. Here we are. And so, on this beautiful summer evening, let us go. Let us go, then, you and I, to where the evening begins to spread out against the sky and look back on a world that has changed so dramatically since we came together at Schreiber 4 short years ago. Well, maybe 3 short years and 1 really long year for all of us. And what is it that we can take away from this very long year? What have we learned that will carry us forward? Persistence. Persistence. And to be honest, this past year brings to mind a president that many of us would soon forget. Yup, I'm going to go there. That's right. Calvin Coolidge. The man known as Silent Cal, because he was often a man of few words, said, and I quote, "Nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful people with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not." Sorry, Dr. Pernick, not even education. "The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. The slogan, 'Press on,' has solved and always will solve the problems of the human race." End quote. It is almost as if President Coolidge predicted the events of this past year. But the reality is, there have always been and always will be obstacles that stand in our way. And there will always be barriers to overcome. And we get to decide as individuals how we choose to deal with those obstacles, those barriers. We can allow barriers we face to define us. We can allow them to limit us, or we can persist. And if this year has taught us anything, it is that we must persist. Each and every moment we choose how to proceed, and each of those choices may create a bend or a twist or a turn in our path that moves us forward in our journey. The examples of persistence in our national narrative have become almost cliche. We all know the stories. Helen Keller, born deaf and blind, used her childhood frustration to become capable of touch lip reading, Braille, speech, and fingerspelling. She turned her childhood temper into determination. Michael Jordan, he was cut from his high school basketball team and was told he wasn't any good. He persisted and became arguably the greatest basketball player of all time. And of course, Marshall Bruce Matthews III, a high school dropout who struggled with drugs and bullying and poverty and went on to become a famous rapper and record producer, winning 13 Grammy Awards along the way. Oh yeah, you probably know him as Eminem. These examples serve as lessons for all of us. My hope for you, the graduating class of 2021, is that Schreiber has prepared you to make your choices wisely, and that Schreiber has taught you to have the grit and the determination that you will need to persist in this world, to persist in overcoming whatever obstacles you may face. My hope is that you have learned the lessons taught by your teachers, by your parents, and by life. It is our choices that move us along in our journey. It is our choices that define who we are, and it is our choices that determine our path. And so, the time has come for me to say goodbye to you, the class of 2021. Our journey together has come to an end. Thank you, parents, families, and friends, for entrusting your children to us, for allowing us to be a part of their lives, and allowing us to watch them grow into the incredible young people that they have become. This has been an incredible 4 years. We've become like family as we've journeyed together. We've laughed, we've cheered, and we've celebrated together. And we've licked our wounds together, and sometimes we've even cried together. And in so many ways, I have learned so much from each of you, as much as I hope you've learned from me. I will miss you, each of you, all of you. You are welcome back anytime to visit, but our special time together is over. Schreiber has been your home, but you have outgrown it now, and the time has come for you to move on. A ship in harbor is safe, but that is not what ships are made for. And so I leave you with the words of D.L. Moody. We are told to let our light shine, and if it does, we won't need to tell anybody it does. Lighthouses don't fire cannons to call attention to their shining. They just shine. Shine on, graduates. Shine on, Schreiber High School class of 2021. Thank you.
Mr. Craig Weiss, everybody. This year, we are lucky enough to have 2 student speakers at this graduation. The first is Noah Lowy.
Wow. Class of 2021 in the flesh. What a difference a year could make. Good afternoon, graduates, friends, families. Thank you all for coming today, and congratulations to everyone. Before I begin, I want to say thank you to Mr. Weiss, Dr. Pernick, Dr. Hines, the administration, and the Board of Education for making today happen. And let's hear it for Schreiber's teachers and faculty. So where do I even start? I could go heavy and talk about the challenges we've faced together for the past 4 years. I could go light and seize the opportunity to publicly crack a joke at the expense of our beloved teachers. I know you're out there, class. Or I could get emotional and reminisce about all the highs and lows of our 4 years together. Instead, I'll spare you the tears and begin with a brief story. I first heard this a few years ago at camp, and I've been waiting for the right time to pay it forward. So here we go. One day, a professor entered his classroom and asked his students to prepare for a pop quiz. They waited anxiously at their desks as the teacher handed out the paper, with the text facing down as usual. Once he handed them all out, he asked his students to turn the page and begin. But to everyone's surprise, there were no questions, just a black dot in the center of the page. The professor, seeing the expression on everyone's faces, told them the following: "I want you to write what you see on the page. Write what you see there." The students were confused, and at the end of the class, the teacher took all of the papers and read them aloud. And every single student, with no exceptions, described the black dot, trying to explain its position in the middle of the sheet, the darkness of the dot, its size, its radius, its thickness. And after all had been read, the classroom was silent, and the professor began to explain. "Don't worry, even though I know you all are. This isn't graded. I just wanted to give you something to think about. No one wrote about the white part of the paper, but for some reason, everyone wrote about the black dot. I gave you this quiz to show you that the same thing happens in all of our lives. We have a white paper to observe and enjoy, but we all focused on the dark spots. We have so much in our lives to be thankful for, to celebrate, yet we spend our time only on the dark spots. So consider this test that I gave you to be a gift that reminds you to open your eyes to all the good in our lives." And with that, the professor walked out of the room and dismissed class for the day. My fellow graduates, class of 2021, I think that professor was onto something. After all we've been through this past year, we could just be another group focusing on the dark spots. I mean, we spent a big chunk of our high school experience at home, online. We missed sports. We missed our junior prom. We missed off periods with friends because they were on the blue team and we were on the white team learning remotely that day. Friends, all of that was real. All of that was true. But those black dots only tell a small part of our story. I mean, we had a high school experience like no other, but it was still so rewarding. We had fun. We had impact. We had some serious growth. I mean, we learned so many lessons in such a short period of time. We learned the importance of memorizing SOHCAHTOA. We learned that Spark Notes and Schmoop are never suitable substitutes for reading a book in English class. For what it's worth, lit charts will usually get the job done. We learned that we actually do have room in our lives for brand new friends that we never even dreamed of speaking to at Weber. And of course, we learned that the Google Meet will always start at least 5 minutes after the bell rings. We've learned all of this and so much more. And look, I know high school wasn't always smooth sailing. We've all heard enough from the older folks in our lives to know that it never is. There are setbacks. But friends, one thing I've learned is that for every setback, it is a setup for a comeback. And that's where we really shined, together. As we were forced to adapt, we were also granted the opportunity to escape the confines of our comfort zones in ways that I know all of us are very proud of. So what do? We, the class of 21, banded together to collect masks, to collect food, to collect cards, to collect gifts for those in need. We honored essential workers. We accepted losses like the junior prom and the pep rally that wasn't with maturity. We, the class of 21, embraced the online classroom and developed new methods of learning and of communicating. We, the class of 21, used our newfound free time to educate ourselves about social issues that transcend our Port Washington bubble. We demonstrated resilience like no other. We, the class of 21, all of us sitting right here, were not and will not be stopped by whatever challenges the world throws at us, because we showed that those challenges, those black dots, we can use them as springboards to fly higher and higher and to facilitate meaningful change. So this is it. In a few moments, we will receive our diplomas, we will give our goodbye hugs, and we will finally have our prom. And then, we will be off to college, a new job, or maybe a gap year. But before we head off into the unknown, take one final look back. For many of us, it's been 13 years. 13 years. We've grown together, from innocent little kindergartners to not so innocent little sixth graders, standing right here on this field, to freshmen tossed into Schreiber, a place once unknown to us, now a home. Finally, yes, to graduates. That's all white paper. So take a moment, let's all take a moment and appreciate the white space, the memories we've made, the knowledge we've acquired, the friendships we've fostered, and the evolution that we have all witnessed and experienced, both as individuals and as a class. And perhaps take some time to embrace the black dots, because they too shaped us into who we are today. I am so lucky to have shared this moment with all of you, because this moment, right here, right now, is a whole lot of white space. Class of 2021, we did it. Thank you.
Noah Lowy, everybody. Our second graduation speaker today is Sam Korn. Next time. Next time. Go get him, Sam. You'll do great.
Thank you so much to Noah for giving us a great opening student speech. Thank you. Definitely a tough act to follow, but I'll do my best. I honestly did not expect to be speaking before all of you today. Not long ago, Miss Mills asked me when I would find the time to write a speech for one of her class assignments, and I just told her not to worry because it was going to be a banger. So let's hope this one is too. We made it. I always knew we would, but that really did seem like a cool thing to say. Not too long ago, I walked into Schreiber High School with no idea where I'd end up 4 years later, but I couldn't be happier where I am now. I stand before you today, an evolving man. The students and faculty here have helped me grow into the type of person with the courage to speak in front of his entire class. I honestly never expected to have a platform such as this, but I guess that's one of the things that makes Schreiber so special. Opportunity is hard to come by. However, it's something served up to us so frequently here that we have been able to become whatever we wanted to be. I can't lie, it's definitely something I took for granted too, which was what makes this such a bittersweet experience. However, this is not a speech about things I should have done differently. We are here because there is one thing that unites us all today: change. Whether or not you are ready for what comes ahead, just remember there's hundreds of other people sitting around you about to experience the same thing. While those who know me are aware I am no stranger to changes in my life, it is still scary moving on from a place we have called home for so long. I imagine myself giving this speech hundreds of different ways. However, change seems like the perfect way to unite all of us. From the friends who I consider family, to the others I did not get the time to befriend, to the faculty who told my parents I disrupt their class. I will miss you all dearly as we go our separate ways. Change in my life began sophomore year when my mother got sick. It was one of the biggest changes I ever experienced and added yet another obstacle to overcome. On top of whatever homework assignments I was procrastinating, obviously. Around the same time she passed, we entered a global pandemic. Pretty inconvenient if you ask me. However, at this point, what haven't we experienced? Yet we all prevailed. If there's one thing that speaks volumes about the Schreiber High School class of 2021, it's our ability to make the best of a bad situation. Many of you have been so supportive in helping me navigate the changes in my life. Over the last year and a half, it has been wonderful to see us all come together as a community to help each other get through a pandemic and still have an unforgettable senior year. That is one thing that makes this class so unique. No matter the friends you have, when it matters most, we are one big family ready to help one another. At this point, there isn't much to say that has not already been said, but I think it's important to recognize the greatness we have achieved. There is so much talent amongst all of us, and there are so many milestones left to hit. So I ask you to look around and put this moment in perspective. This is one of the few opportunities we have as a group to slow life down and really appreciate what we have achieved. In the infamous words of Ferris Bueller, quote, "Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it." While I'm sure I'm not the first person to use this quote to describe a moment like this, it truly speaks volumes about how we all got here. In the film, Ferris and his friends skip school to escape boredom and have an incredible day. However, when it all came to an end, they realized that graduating would change everything. Through good times and bad, Schreiber has been a familiar place for so long, and now it's time to say goodbye. So let that quote sit with you as we enter the next stage of our lives. And don't forget to slow it down and appreciate everything. Now I have a few people that I would like to thank. Thank you to my mom and my dad for giving me the motivation and direction to see what I could accomplish these last 4 years. Thank you to my sister Haley for helping me get through high school with your wisdom and experience. I'm truly going to miss the time I spent with you fixing your essays and occasionally putting the finishing touches on a few physics labs. And thank you to the faculty for giving me a place to learn and express myself. Lastly, a special thank you to all of you, the class of 2021. Because of all of you, I am here today, and I couldn't be happier. The time we've had together has been the first opportunity for us to experience real change. While you may not realize it, we have all changed so much. There are people here that I didn't know 4 years ago that I now consider family. It is because of those experiences that the last 4 years have been unique and unforgettable, because I spent them with all of you. I wouldn't have wanted to go on this journey with anyone else. Just think about how fast time has gone by. One of my favorite Schreiber moments has to be Schreiber Slam. I didn't think there's anything more special than watching your history teacher get body slammed by a professional wrestler. You know your school is important when you get featured on SportsCenter and Barstool. Moments like that are what made coming to Schreiber every day so easy. The class of 2021 wanted to make every day great, and the teachers helped us deliver. Even more recently, we all got to watch the sunrise together on the turf. While it has definitely not been perfect, none of us ever quit. I'm so proud to be surrounded by the most fearless and energized people I have ever known, especially my Soundview homies. If there's anything to take away from this moment, it's that all of us have the opportunity to capitalize on our dreams. That's what makes change so special. We are at the beginning of our journey, and our time here has allowed us to sculpt whatever we want to come next to become a reality. We can look back on all the big moments that have changed us, but it's just as important to look at the small stuff. Remember the time you got out of your comfort zone, hung out with someone you didn't know well, or even a time when you were embarrassed. Whether you knew it or not, it's the small stuff that truly changes you and molds you into the person you become. To close, I would like to leave you all with a quote that speaks volumes about what we can all achieve beyond this moment. Quote, "Nobody can tell me where I can and can't go. The road we choose to take is our decision alone, and the experiences we gain from it will change us all regardless. The great Kanye West. Oh, I'm not done. Thank you so much for giving me this platform, and congratulations to the class of 2021. We did it.
Sam Korn, everybody. Great job, Sam. Wonderful job, Noah. You couldn't have made this class more proud. Presenting this year's Bogart Scholarship, please welcome Board of Education trustee Beth Weisberg.
I completely forgot that the worst part about doing this is that we have to follow the students every time. Those were fantastic speeches, and I hope to do them some justice. So welcome and congratulations to the Paul D. Schreiber High School class of 2021. Get the beach ball going. Come on, guys. Looking out onto the field, it is amazing to see how many people here are here to celebrate your considerable achievements. Keep going. Your road here was difficult and different, yet here we are. You should all be proud. This last year has taught us many lessons. We have all been changed in some very profound ways. While we all experienced the same event, how we experienced it varied widely. I believe the road to recovery, however, will look much more similar for all of us. We stand here today taking those first steps back. The one thing that has been clear is that education truly is the silver bullet. We stand here on the road to recovery because of the scientists, the social scientists, the healthcare workers, and first responders, because of the courage and resilience that is the essence of the human condition. The students here are profoundly different than the classes that stood before us in past years, yet one thing remains the same. You are our future. And those of us who had the opportunity to comb through the resumes of our top 5% students can say with certainty that the future will be well cared for with the students and graduates of Schreiber High School sitting at the helm. So I have the distinct honor of presenting this year's Bogart Scholarship. The Bogart Scholarship is named in honor of Dr. Elbert H. Bogart, a Port Washington physician who bequeathed a large sum of money to the school district on his death in 1897. It is awarded annually to a member of the graduating class who has excelled academically and has shown leadership in school and the greater community. This year's Bogart Committee, Emily Bays, Larry Greenstein, and I began with a very impressive slate of candidates. The students demonstrated excellence and diversity in their studies. In addition to remarkable academic achievement, these students participated in wide-ranging and an impressive number of extracurricular activities and were the recipients of awards too numerous to count. They have all made us very proud. This year's honoree has demonstrated superior academic achievement evidenced by both GPA as well as an impressive number of academic awards. In addition to academic achievement, the student is a talented musician and has demonstrated a love for athletics. So please join me in congratulating you lost it, guys, come on. Please join me in congratulating the 2021 Bogart Scholarship recipient, Jimin Lee. Come on up, Jimin.
Jimin Lee, everybody. Now it is my pleasure to introduce our Superintendent of Schools. Please welcome Dr. Michael Hines.
Great job, Noah and Sam, and I'm glad I don't have to contend with the beach balls at least for about 5 seconds. Greetings, Port Washington families. This is Michael Hines with your Sunday evening. No, I'm totally kidding. Totally kidding. And I know our seniors will not miss that. In all seriousness, good afternoon to our Port Washington families. It's an honor to stand here before this truly majestic class of 2021 and a privilege to speak before our school community. I am so thankful we can all celebrate this moment together in person, and as we've heard before, it's been a long time coming. To our parents, our grandparents, our families, our teachers, administrators, our Board of Education trustees, and everyone else who lent a hand in shaping our soon-to-be graduates' lives, thank you. Thank you for supporting and investing your time and your love into their promising young lives. Today we see before us a return on everyone's investment. After 13 years of schooling, your children will graduate and begin the next chapter of their journey. And to our seniors, who are hot and probably tired at this point, you have endured so much over the past 15 months. You have endured many challenges and have risen through them to make it to this day. How many students can say they graduated during a pandemic? Not too many. But as I look out to a sea of blue and white, I see our future data architects, our engineers, educators, attorneys, masons, hail and nail technicians, our doctors, our nurses, mechanics, contractors, musicians, programmers, police and military officers, performing artists, landscape designers, scientists, accountants, and of course, our entrepreneurs. Even though I look 32 years old, I'm kidding, by the way, it was actually 32 years ago I sat as where you are sitting today, waiting to receive my high school diploma, anxiously awaiting and not really listening to what anyone said at that ceremony. And I recall thinking about what the next chapter in my life would look like after I walked across that stage. Just like you, I promise, in a few moments. I'm thankful you are listening now, and knowing that, I would love if you would remember just 2 things I'm about to share with you, and I promise it'll take 2 minutes. It would be wonderful if you recall these 2 sentiments many years from now in your young lives. So first, always be kind. Always. You need to remember you never know what other people are going through when you meet them. Sometimes the people who have the biggest smiles are struggling the most. If you see someone falling behind, walk beside them. If you see someone who is being ignored, include them. You will never see signs on people's shirts saying, "I had a terrible day. I'm feeling depressed. I just lost my job. I'm missing my mother or father who is no longer with me." Be who you needed when you were going through hard times. You can make such a difference with people you encounter. And best of all, it's free. Second, it's a story about lobsters. I read about this a few years ago. It's a story that's been shared far and wide by the amazing Rabbi Abraham Tversky. And in essence, the stimulus for the lobster to be able to grow is that it feels uncomfortable. Uncomfortable. The lobster's shell is hard and it can't expand. So as it grows, the shell gets tighter and tighter and more uncomfortable because it is stuck in the constricting shell. The rabbi explains that if the lobster could go to a doctor, it would probably prescribe it some medicine so it could stop worrying about feeling uncomfortable and just get on with its life. But it doesn't have that option. The lobster gets so uncomfortable that it decides to do something about it. So it goes somewhere safe, sheds its shell, and grows a new one that fits better. The lobster repeats this multiple times as it grows bigger and bigger. And each time, it's the discomfort that encourages the lobster to grow a new shell. Without this discomfort, it would stay small. It would stay within its comfort zone. It's the same for our graduates and for everyone here today. At times over the past year and a half, we were forced to stretch ourselves, do things we've never done before. Please continue to do so. It's easy to shy away from doing anything that feels unfamiliar or outside our comfort zone. It's when we try something new or put ourselves out there that we have the opportunity to grow. And remember, growth and comfort do not coexist. Please try new things, don't be afraid to fail, and most important, take chances on yourself. I wish you a lifetime of health, happiness, and growth. And don't forget to be kind. Godspeed, we love you, and congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Hines. Don't go anywhere. Dr. Hines, it is my pleasure to present to you the class of 2021, and I'd like to ask if you will accept this class.
I proudly accept the class of 2021 and that beach ball.
Right. Here we go. Ellis Schreinemakers. Jacob Gottesman. Eva Oliveras. Eden Chernicky. Mia Guzman. Erica Mendez. Katie Estrada. Gisette Picoida. Carmen Yanes Vega. Brianna Thomas. Keja Hyman. Megan Mayu. Christine Worms. Jonathan Klopp. Aiden Zeidman.
Susanna Noto. Rory Woods. Lily Josephs. Madeline Serker. Yasmin Dehimi. Catherine Ricciardi. Aminya Sawanatat. Jimin Lee. Avanika Lefkowitz. Win Schmidt. Adisri Rajkumar. Benjamin Rotko. Emma Stylianos. Amanda Strobel. Richard Lee. Was I supposed to hang on to these? Yes? Okay. Oh, it does. Okay. It's all right. I'll just hang on. It's all right. I'll just hang on to them until I can't hang on to them anymore. We wait until after that.
Be ready. Here we go. Nate Solomon. Alex Chakrian. Anthony Suna. Calvin Yee. Jacob Shupak. Michael Saccone. James Young. Dylan Prangle. Nathaniel Kimball. Zachary Becker. Lily Dell. Maya Berebi. Sabina Novo. Phoebe Christake. Natalie Livingston.
Noah Lowy. Rajan Parekh. Carl Hirsch. Zachary Hay. Joseph Chang. Ethan Wu. Nate Senders. Aiden Berliner. David Gold. Jackie DeLillo. Juliana Reyes. Eleni Katranis. Yuki Wang. Kervin Ralph Chua. Eliana Rivera.
Oh, watch yourself. Watch it. Go back. Grab that. Grab that. Rotem Confino.
Josh Gordon. Kevin O. Thomas Milhaven. Marcus Gargiulo. Taran Parmer. Lokesh Vasanta Kumar. Matthew Scardino. Nathan Aronoff. Daniel Chen. Derek Lamb. Tyler Scatino. Jeremy Zay.
All right, what do we got to start?
Elijah Edmonds. Ivan Remshaw.
Aiden Spiz. Max Mala. Dylan Treneman. Melkonian. Thomas Melkonian. Christian Schwarzman. Davis Gudiamo. Xiying Yan. Mia Achitori. Zoe Hussein. Ashley Young. Jasmine Sanchez Calderon. Rita Chang. Caitlin Kaprowicz. Danielle Wu. Julia O'Sullivan.
We'll wait until she comes down off this, as she starts coming down the stairs. When you say my name, I just start walking? Yeah. All right, here we go. Ryan Barry. Morgan Kress. Jake Miller. Matt Lafredo. William D'Antonio. Ryan Joslin. Vito Russo. Matthew Maroney. Salvatore Rizzo. Lior Ajudanpour. Aiden Miglio. Jack Herrigson.
Michael Scotto. Joseph Perry.
It's like a sorority over here.
Andre Agostino.
Just 1 second. Emma Klein. Emma Fagan. Nia Ioannidis. Gwen Gould. Lola Lichtenstein. Shane Burson. Shiv Chatrat. Christopher Chang. Joshua Rosen. Jake Sparita. Christopher Caprariello. Michael Bellini. Luke Fain. Trevor Caps. Ryan Klein.
Laura Maroney.
Why didn't you want to sing?
Sarah Papucci.
It was like the whole thing. It was like the whole year. I didn't have you when
Paulina Guerra Castillo. Tyler Marcano.
we'd have made it work. You could have just come up. Oh, absolutely.
Daniel DeLora. Noah Feldman.
It's strange seeing you in person.
Aiden Newworth. Lauren Moreno. Patrick Doyle. Chris Vola. Maxwell Carlton. Stephen
Shake with your
Mazel.
right, take with the left.
Raquel Perez. Caitlin DeSantis. Catalina Quijano.
Just gonna wait for the stage to clear and then you're up. Becca Packer. Emily Milgram. Charlotte Kirpin. Emma Shore. Lucy Roth. Kira Hershkowitz. Danny Guttenplan. Steigman. Kate Steigman. Sari Hartstein. Alexandra Salzman. Remy Haas. Abigail Garfin. Avery Silfin. Yep. Hope Lane. Frankie Ader.
Samantha Freed. Jessica Siciliano. Emily Sandman. Avery Von Roschlaub. Kevin Carl. Jonathan Dayan. Ethan Dayan. Daniel Doherty. Janie Latucci. Claire Spina. Mia Kurta. Zoe Catronis. Abigail Mills. Julia Rapachulo. Maggie Policino.
Right? Samantha Radinsky. Shira Freilich. Lily Labella. Ava Marvin. Larissa Scafidi. Erica Guzman. Maya Grossman. Mia Schoonmaker. Ashley Lee. Karen Sagata. Tiffany Lipman. Sophie Penson. Molly Abramowitz. Natalie Smith. Kate Magosi. Agassi. The one name I got wrong. My student. Dylan Miller. Jennifer Fravola. Aphrodite Demopoulos. Catherine O'Sullivan. Giovanna Bruno. Tara Blooney. Jacob Reber. Jocelyn Lee. Caroline Williams. Riley Fanning Hughes. Emily Berman. Ellen F. Carpitas. Aaron Waxman. Zoya Uni. Abby Hurt.
Declan Neville. Nancy Elsher. Ada Amargiwali. Emery Franco. Rebecca Snader. Emma Weston. Dina Peruli. Maisie Lee. Alana Bernstein.
Doesn't mean I say it right.
Aiden Tiger. Calvin Hernandez. Gavin Schaub. Colin Reardon. Ian Miller. Dylan Shore.
Jonathan Goldberg. Nathan M. Lucas Batista. Ryan Kessler. Nicole Kessler. David Weiner. Kyle Sinnott. Charlie Mark. Samuel Korn. Isaac Goldstein. Zachary Lusbader. Daniel Haas. John Hyde.
Ethan Fine. Alexander Carmen.
One second. Let's just let the stage clear. Carla Hernandez. Lisbeth Garnica. Alexa Nappy. Lisbeth Pukier Diaz. Luis Colocho Escobar. Adelani Gomez. Ailton Flores. Christopher Barrera. Elgin Trejo. Aaron Rogue. Eric Fernandez. Nelson Gomez. Honder Lopez. I'm going to say your name wrong. Rudy Barahona. Michael Peneski.
Manuel Buchon. Irvin Diaz. Brando Tanako. Raymond Castillo. Roger Hernandez. Gerson Yanes. Jose Montoya Sandoval. Jocelyn Almanor. Marina Noemi Gartahena. Erisa Arucci. Jennifer Trejo Mahia. Tatiana Mancia. Lady Castellanos. Clay Gropper. Alexandra Galasso.
Jeremy. Here we go. As soon as they clear the stage. Daniela Jeremita. Selma Yildiz. Kristen Kalmus.
Cindy Bonilla. Rosa Castillo. Cassandra Petta Schnemeli Verley. Najeli Orlana Amon.
Brandon Arias. Maximino Cruz. Caleb Thomas. Manuel Portillo. Andrew Sikani. Carter Lutz. Chris Shipor.
Is he on the board?
Mirianthi Sismanakis. Anastasia Kavunas. Sasha Hyde. Lana Ventura. Amanda Del Monte. Samantha Gibbons. Mia Dejana. Olivia Massa.
Trey McDermott. Michelle Lonfont. Ryan Milsetic. Ryan Crilly. Jonah Goodman. Alessandro Balaslov. Ju-Young Kim. S.J. Lee. Yutaka Ito. Lily Brush. Andy.
Darren Sivan. Zoe Steinberg.
Lucia Ferrero. Erin Steinke. Ilana Diamond. Brooke Grossman. Isabella Lopez. Anaya Cox. Tyshawn Williams. Patrick Kenny. Jensen Weingard. Andrew Robinson. Sam Sanders.
No. I have to clear the stage first. Max Bogensberger. Jake Shore. Briggs Capobianco. One second. Gabrielle Whittles. Kendra Ducharme. Victoria Sinkinegi. Abby Chikoy. Jocelyn Burrows. What? Rebecca Sperry. Allison Malley. Ethan Denninger.
Sarah Prohens. Richard Lee. Carl Heike Yokes. Sean Lee. Henry Meyer. Matt Giraldo. Luis Simo.
Are you done? Okay. Nicole Mathis. Chloe Beanstalk. One second. Chloe Binstock. Emily Z. Ashley Louie. Alyssa Puglisi. Jason Vinciguerra. Sarah Tamayo. Charlotte Ezel.
Oliver Malera Perez. Jeremy Selberg. Mateo Torres. Jaden McLean Turner. Dongwoo Lee. Grace Berrigan. Grace Herrickson. Alyssa Maglione.
Who's the last one?
Savannah Khan.
Last row too? You guys the last row? All right. So
Jason Ramos.
he's fighting for the last spot.
Eric Tang.
You know, in the NFL,
Max
draft, the last
Donowitz.
person is known as Mr. Irrelevant.
Dominic Rodriguez.
Tampa, really?
Nicholas
That's a
Malandrino.
last class or a right to the beach. All right.
Camille Drum.
Who are we?
Ella Saunders. Javi Bustos Fuenzalida.
You guys are the last row, right? Definitely. Okay. As soon as the stage clears, you're good. Emily Salerno. Abigail Gilsonen. Luke Vinciguerra. Sarah Lubansky. Jill Bieberman. RJ Holt. Jonathan Lockham. Stephen Jovel. Tyler Kermy. Duran Proctor. And Christopher Schroyer.
Do some other stuff.
Okay. I'm not going to be up here.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 2021. Dr. Hines, if you can join me, and I could ask the class of 2021 to please rise. Ask everyone to move their tassels from right to left. Dr. Hines, they're your class.
Thank you, Dr. Pernick. By the power vested in me by the great state of New York and the State Education Department, congratulations, Schreiber class of 2021.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us today on this wonderful, joyous occasion. Congratulations to all of you. Get home safe. Nora just sprayed. Did you drink it? Great. Congratulations, everybody. Nora has. Nora. Craig, don't go anywhere. Let's get a photo.